Right. Well, good afternoon.
Good.
Welcome to this version of Poetricity Live, where we're continuing our exploration of the flow framework, how to get more done without stressing out, and really just taking inspired action that allows you to achieve more outcomes without all the stress that comes with it. And a lot of that work is to do with how we position things, how we experience things, and things of that nature. Um, oh, one update, by the way. My for those who you wouldn't know about this, but Claudette, the Italy experience where I left my bag over there. Remember?
Yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
found it.
Oh,
So
great.
I'm
And everything in it?
yeah, it sounds like it. So I'm gonna have to pop over there to pick it up at some point.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. My daughter always did, so I probably left it on there subconsciously just so I could go back anyway.
You can
Yeah,
go back.
probably.
Oh dear. Um, Right. So I'm just kind of seeing where we should start from. Um, yeah, something. Okay, let's start with this one, and then we'll kind of work our way around. This one is a bit of a long one, but you'll see where it's going, and then from there we can probably move on from there. So, right. So this one is called spending time. Time absolute. My time, your time. Time for this, time for that. Summertime shuffle. This time zone, that time zone. Zigzag, jet lag, sleeping hacks. Where did the time go? Felt we had more time. Took my time to spend it. Squeezed the value out of it. Then I ran out of time. 24 hours a day was my lot. Now I'm trying to find time I had so carelessly lost. Turns out time once gone is nowhere to be found. Set about to make time for those that matter, that may work for money, but no time factory exists. Every moment counts. Do they count the same? Respect my time. Show up on time, spending the most valuable resource of all. This is, of course, till you find flow. Get present with intention, paying full attention. Then time slows, so it seems. Time relative as you experience. I'm going to read that again. Spending time. Time absolute. My time, your time. Time for this, time for that. Summertime shuffle. This time zone, that time zone. Zigzag, jet lag, sleeping hacks. Where did the time go? Felt we had more time. Took my time to spend it. Squeezed the value out of it. Then I ran out of time. 24 hours a day was my lot. Now I'm trying to find time I had so carelessly lost. Turns out time once gone is nowhere to be found. Set about to make time for those that matter. That may work for money, but no time factory exists. Every moment counts. Do they count the same? Respect my time. Show up on time, spending the most valuable resource of all. This is, of course, till you find flow. Get present with intention, paying full attention. Then time slows, so it seems. Time relative as you experience it.
Hmm.
Frank,
Yeah,
when did you write this?
I wrote it ages ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, a
Uh,
couple of
be,
months
be,
actually.
because I was reading, the reason it brought it to mind is because when you were talking about this particular session, you
Mm,
stated that you were frazzled and you were like running to and fro,
mm,
trying to put the mastermind together.
mm.
And this popped up, and it would appear that the two were somehow connected. maybe that's why you chose it for this particular session.
It could be. Maybe the universe chose it for us. That
And
often happens actually. Things just happen to be at the point in time where it kind of just fits, and we don't know how come. Hello, Auntie. You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Good afternoon, everybody. I nearly say good morning because I never wake up this time. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
good
Nice to
afternoon.
see you.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. So yeah, Phil, what were you going to say apart from the fact that it looked like that was very opportune for me?
I was going to say that it's absolutely correct. You said about there is no time factory. Jim Rohn used to always say, you can always make more money, but you can never make more time. Once it's gone, it's gone. So I agree with that completely. And also the allusion to you need to just sort of like live in the moment because now is all you actually have. So you need to realize that the time you have right now is the time you have, and you need to make the most of it because in the poem it seems like, oh, where did it go and what happened to it, and I lost it. And I I think a lot of times we think we lose time, but in reality what we're doing is actually wasting time, because there are people that everybody has 24 hours, and it just depends on, to me, am I looking at cat videos on Facebook or am I actually doing something productive?
I hear you. I hear you. And we're not hating on cat videos, but it depends on what your intention is.
Exactly.
If you're intentionally doing that because it's your downtime and it's what you want to do, there's no judgment there. But if you're doing that, but you claim and intend that you wanted something else, then obviously then there's a mismatch and misalignment there. Thanks for that, Phil. Anyone else on this, Claudette?
Yeah, I thought very similar to what Phil had said.
Okay.
I just wrote down like time waits for no one. And I think time is one of the most important commodities that we can have at our disposal, really. I think sometimes we talk about time, but we spend less time focusing on what we're using our time to do.
I like that.
But we do talk about time a lot. People do talk about time, but we don't literally focus, look into how we actually spending the time that we have.
Yeah.
I think we shy away from that, to be honest.
Why do you think that is?
I suppose we'd probably be mortified at how much time we waste.
There's a suspicion that if you go there and look there, you won't like what you find. So
you won't like what
Exactly.
you won't like what you see. Oh, it makes you more accountable. You become more accountable, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
To who I don't know, maybe to yourself, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear no from Auntie there. So what is the in?
What my is about, it really hits me as
Right.
if you know how I live my life. Talking about time. Well, you use the word waste.
Yeah.
To me, all what I do is not a waste. It's because I'm not organized. I will have a lot to do, pile up in my brain. Instead of taking my pen and paper and write it down, prioritize what I want to do, I wouldn't do that. So everything will be modeled. And I'll be blaming myself. Oh, I want to do this, I didn't do it. Oh, I want to do it, I didn't do it. So let me give you a little joke about it. Time wasting. We talk about Facebook. I make sure I don't touch my phone until I pray, read my Bible, do my important things before I touch my phone. Because I've wasted so much time on it. Oh, then let me give you a joke. When my granddaughter was staying with me, she was going to the University of Holborn there. I will wake up and say, oh, the time is gone. the time is, I wouldn't, unconsciously, I would be saying it. Oh, look at the time, it's gone. Oh, it's gone. I've just woken up. My granddaughter said, Grandma, stop talking about this time. Because you use your night as a day, and you use your day as a night. What do you don't think it's wait for you? My old teacher said, time has no brother, it has no sister, it has no relative to be merciful to. That is what time is. So it depends on how you do live your own. So I'm learning. I'm so happy. It hits me when you talk about time. So what I do now, I have a little what to do note, but I never cover it up.
Yeah.
Something else will come to distract me. I wouldn't follow it, but at least it's reduced my attention.
Yeah. I like that. I do like that. And again, this tells us about the mind and how it deals with time. So the idea that time becomes a concept which it tries to postulate as a fixed entity, which it tries to imply is used almost rigidly. But effectively, a lot of these things, certain things feel like, and because it feels like, we experience time how we feel about it. Does that make sense? So you do something, but it can feel like that time was wasted. But if you look at the value and how important that thing's to you, is it a waste, right? So that is one aspect. The other aspect is actually you experience the same amount of time differently, depending on what you focus on and how you look at it. So which is why the whole point of maybe helping people look at the idea of, if you did things where, I mean, I'm sure we've all had experiences where we're doing something, it's only when we look back and put our heads up, we realize, you can't tell me I've just spent half an hour doing that and it didn't feel like half an hour, it felt like 5 minutes, it felt like 10 minutes, because you were right in it, you were right focused on it, you weren't in your head, you were just flowing and doing what needed to happen, and you'd finish doing it before you even looked at the time. So again, that's kind of like, if we experience time from the place of flow, actually we will come to enjoy time more than when we are spend more time thinking in our head about the thinking about the time, rather than the doing, being inspired in the doing of the thing. So that's some of the reasons why this was positioned that way. Anything else come up as I was speaking with people?
Frank, I wrote down, like you did, I just wrote down Auntie's quote about time having no relatives. I was
I've never
writing
heard
that
that
down.
one before.
I hadn't heard it before either, but I like that.
Yeah.
It treats it can't do you any favors.
No. Yeah, it's such a brilliant frame, it is. But again, that's the beauty of having more people on, so we can get all these different perspectives. Anything else on that before we put anything else in the... Right. Okay. So let's look at this one. This one is called Holding Me. Holding me. What's holding you back? How did it get like this? What if you were to let go? What would you miss from what is long gone, to which you're still holding on? I repeat, holding me. What is holding you back? How did it get like this? What if you were to let go? What would you miss from what is long gone, to which you are still holding?
Those are all very, very deep questions in that piece. And you have to, that's not one of those, oh, right off the top of my head, I can say, oh, this is holding me back, or oh, this is very reflective, because if you want to have that honesty, you're going to have to go deep. You may know what it is you're avoiding, but the reason why you're avoiding it, or whatever that thing is, that may be a pain point, and you really may not want to go there.
I love that. I love that. And I love the rawness and the honesty in that reflection there. Yeah. No, I like that. you have your suspicions.
Right. But if you really went there and you dissected it and
Yeah,
wrote it down,
yeah.
I always say, once you write it down, it
Mm,
becomes real.
I like that.
As long as it's in your head, you can play with it and switch it back. But once you actually write it down, it becomes real.
I like that. I really love that. And then that then is an invitation then to actually take this piece, find time to sit by yourself, get something to write on, and start digging.
Right. As Claudette says, then you become accountable to yourself. As long as it's in your head, you're not accountable. It just floats around. But
Yeah,
once it's written down, that means, okay, it's down there on paper. So now what am I going to do with it?
yeah. No, I hear that. I hear that. Anything else? Anyone else on this?
I think we're going to have a good time over the next couple of days, Frank.
Yeah, digging, digging in.
It may be a little painful.
Yeah, it may be a little, maybe a little painful. Yeah, but
So,
it's sometimes even more painful when you don't, though. But you don't realize it because you've not really gone.
Right.
Auntie, you're about to say something?
yes, I want to say what holds me back, I
Yeah,
personally,
yeah.
procrastination,
Okay.
because it will be in my brain,
Mm-hmm.
I want to do this. No, I will do it tomorrow.
Mm.
Oh, I want to do this. I have something to do that they are chasing me to do the thing. It's
Mm-hmm.
in my mind to do, but I think I can do it later. Oh, I can do it later.
Mm.
So when I don't really put it together, set my mind in it to do it, it will be on and on and on and on. Then they'll be reminding me, do you know you said you would do this 3 months ago? I will be ashamed that what happened. For example, my own personal thing that somebody wants to do for me. My granddaughter said I should clear my junks. They put their junks there, but it's there. They are blaming me now. I should clear my junks so that they can renovate this my little place.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know I've been planning to do this thing? I will do this today, tomorrow I will do that. So when they come to my house, they say, Grandma, it's not done. What am I doing? It's in my mind, but when I'll be pushing it forward, it's a job to me. I will think about it. Oh, I will do it tomorrow. I will do procrastination. It can hold people back. It holds me back. How I will adjust that now, I do not know. Maybe when people are talking now, I will grab something, I will put my pen and write it down.
I would be nice. It'd be nice if that was an outcome, wouldn't it? That would really be beautiful. And I've got some perspectives on that, but I'm going to leave that till later. And let Claudette, did you have anything on this one? You're on mute, Claudette. Sorry.
I think sometimes fear can let us hold us back from doing things, or I mean, I know that. I mean, I was near where I live. Somebody set up a beautiful community garden, and I've been walking past this community garden for the whole summer. And every time I walk past, I stop and I look at the plants, and I look at how well it's been put together and what a difference it's made to that side road and everything. And I said to myself, "Oh, I would love to set up one of those." And I kept saying it, and I didn't do anything about it. And then all of a sudden, it occurred to me, oh, you wanted to do that. Why haven't I done it? And within 2 weeks, I took the steps to do it. And now I've just got the go ahead to set it up in my side where I live.
That's beautiful.
And I'm so pleased because I could have, there was a time when I would be fearful about going forth and putting myself forward to do certain things. And so I said to myself, well, what moved me? Something must have really moved me to really you know, not hold back. Go for it. I don't know if it's because I feel very, very stronger. I don't know. But I know that I've held back on lots of things that I wanted to do and could have done throughout my life. Maybe because I have a second chance now with life. I'm not going to allow that to happen.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And kind of what you said there opens the door for the bits that I was going to slip in when Auntie was talking really about this whole idea of, I think it's important to recognize when we're dealing with things like this, that the holding me back piece and knowing that there's something there, but knowing also that you're not doing it, even though, so you have almost two narratives in one space. One narrative says, yeah, we want to do this, but the reality is it's not getting done. Does that make sense? So it's because there is a misalignment between the part of you that says to do, because there's reasons behind the doing. And then there's also part of us deep, that is holding a different reason why it's not being done. And this goes back to what Phil was saying earlier on about when you take the space to reflect and write down, you begin to detect what those are. So actually you can force that to come out by actually asking yourself the other question from, I want to do it, I am not doing it. What could be the reason why I'm not doing it? And you have to hold yourself not in a, what's the best way to put it? You're not doing it to kick yourself up the backside. That's not, I think that's counterproductive. You're doing it to get gentle and honest with yourself so that all the parts of you that are involved in that conversation about doing or not doing can have a seat at the table and have a conversation. So let's go to Auntie's bit just for a second. There may be genuine and sincere reasons why what is considered junk is not actually junk. There might be stuff in there that there's part of you that loves and wants to hold on to. But there's this narrative about we need to get rid of it. Now, if that part of you recognizes that that means something to you, part of these things that might be gotten rid of, it will use its ability to stall the process because it's unresolved. It's like, yeah, I want to get rid of it, but I also love blah, blah, blah. So, you know, so it'll let the press secretary, which is your logical mind, do all the talking. But it's, I use this analogy, it's an elephant. So the part of you that doesn't want to do it is the elephant. The part of you that's saying we need to do this is the ant. Now the ant is on top of the elephant, right? The ant is going this way, the elephant is going that way. Now it might look like the ant is making progress, but it's sitting on top of an elephant that is going that way. So until you get to the elephant, find out what is going to convince the elephant to turn around. See if actually this is really what needs to happen. The elephant needs to. So then we need to face the elephant and now appease the elephant, give the elephant what it needs so that it sees the value in turning around. When you turn the elephant around, then the ant and the elephant are going in the same direction, and therefore you will get aligned action. So when you find yourself in that, it's because there's a truth, there's something underneath in your subconscious that is not yet bought into what your conscious mind is saying needs to happen. So it's kind of getting to that deeper level so you can align it. Once you align it, things happen, right? So you go back to Claudette's thing. In that moment, there was an alignment between the conscious and the subconscious, and boom, she just did it. There was no thinking about the thinking. And this takes us back to our first piece, which is, it's amazing how much time we spend thinking about the thinking that's going to be the thinking about what. So the doing takes 5 minutes. You could spend half an hour thinking about something that will take you 5 minutes to do.
And if I may, Frank, another
Of course
thing,
you may. That's why you're here.
Like Claudette said, I think it's a matter of your why has got to be bigger and more important than your why bother.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
In her case, her why bother trumped her why.
Yeah.
She went past looking at that garden, and finally she got to her why bother was like, hey, because I really want to do this, I know I can do it, and that's why I'm bothering. And I think a lot of times people have these ideas, but they're just ideas until their why bother trumps that.
I love that perspective on it, actually. I love that. Yeah. So it's kind of like if the why bother is like, okay, it's this thing has not moved the needle enough. It's not. Hey, Durga. I like that.
Hello.
Anything else on this before we
So
move?
sorry. Came in late.
No, that's all right. You're welcome.
I forgot.
Anybody else on this?
If I use the word determination.
Okay, go on.
Once you said, whether I like it or not, I have determined this must be done. That is how I got my part of the thing done. I said, today, desperately, I have to do something. I'm giving excuses. Days are going on, moving on. I've said, oh, yes, I'm determined. I'm going to do this. So I'm going to hit it. I've wrote down determination now. So I will let that one be hitting me every time I remember determination, no matter what it will cost me. All this postponing affect my going out. Let me slot that in.
Yeah.
If my daughter said, we are going out such a time, and I will determine, I will say, well, I will get ready, put my things there, but I don't know what will slow me down. That I will say, let's do this distraction, phone call, then the time, I will say, oh, the time has gone. When when they come upstairs, I will say, no, don't worry, when you get downstairs, just I'll come down. I won't be ready. So when she got up, you say, Mom, I told you about, and I say, well, you know what, the trick I used to keep her quiet is that you better be thanking God. Think of my age, you know? Think of my age.
You're paying the age card.
Yes, then that is when I will remember my age, when I've done something wrong. Besides that, I don't remember my age. Then I said, you better be thanking God. If I'm working with walking stick, will you be? That is how I won the case. But
That's so funny.
Determination.
No, I hear you. There's something I wanted to say about that actually, and I literally was thinking about it this morning, and this might be helpful for everybody on the call. Again, it goes back to this idea of how we're conditioned to spend so much time thinking about things. And actually, by the time we come to do the thing we're about to do, we're doing it with the thinking that we've built up on it. So it affects how we feel while we're doing it. So what I discovered recently is this ability to do things in the moment, which means have no story about the thing you're doing. Just start doing it.
Okay.
So as I said, no, don't have a story about this is hard, this is easy, or anything like that. This should have been done. Just empty your mind of any story about the doing of the thing. Just be in that moment of the doing of it. Just start doing it, and in the next moment, do the next thing and just do it without the story. And it's interesting how actually things that if you were given the opportunity to start preempted, oh, then I'll start and it'll take me 30 minutes and it'll take me half an hour and it will take me just by just looking and say, okay, no stories about this thing. I'm just going to put my hand and start doing this. And then I'm going to do the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. And it's amazing actually how you get things done and you don't have all that energy wasted.
And
thank you.
And Frank's research has shown that emotions follow the action. So if, as you say, you go into it with no preconceived ideas, then when it's completed, Pete, you generally get a feeling of satisfaction and a job well done because you haven't already expended that emotion getting there in the first place. So when you finish without any preconception, it's like, whoa, I did it. Now let's do something else.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm learning. Fantastic.
Right. Okay. I'm going to put this next piece in. Let's see where we go with it. This one is called Deeper. Asking the deeper questions of life, plumbing the depths of the soul, drawing out those answers, satisfying the questions asked on the way down. I repeat that. Deeper. Asking the deeper questions of life, plumbing the depths of the soul, drawing out those answers, satisfying the questions asked on the way down. What are you hearing? I love all those ums coming out. It's like you're almost living the poem. It's like, okay, this is deep. Let me go deep.
Yeah.
Let's go deep. What sticks out? What pops out as you kind of read it?
I was looking at the last sentence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when it says passed on the way down. I'm not quite connecting that to the rest of the other 4 lines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know why.
No, I can appreciate why that might be the case actually, but that's fine. That's intentional. It's a deep poem that requires you to think deep in order to work out what. That's good.
You're sticking with that story, are you?
It's all in the metaphor. You have to kind of unravel the metaphor. If you unravel the metaphor, then you'll get it. The metaphor is fishing, right?
Yes.
Right. So you go down. You put the bait all the way to the bottom. That's you asking the questions. You get the questions. When you get the answer, you pull it back up, right? And the point is that when you ask a question that's deep enough, all the other questions between there and the deep question get answered because the question you asked was deep enough. So it's similar to root cause. Like you could be asking questions that focus on leaves and things like that, but you go to the root.
Yeah.
When you address the thing at the root, everything else.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So like, why is this tree looking like this? Oh, it's because there's a problem at the root. So fix the problem of the root, fix the other problems with the tree. So that's kind of where that's coming from. Anything else come up for you as I kind of give that background to it?
No, it actually makes sense.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It makes sense when you talk about in terms of root cause analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe there are not enough fishing people around to get that fishing analogy there. We might have to stick to the tree.
Well, it's pretty deep.
Stick to the tree. I like that. Yeah. But again, I mean, obviously myself as a coach, Phil, you're a coach as well. The whole idea is the part of the art of what we do is to ask the kind of questions that takes people deep enough so that the things they think is the problem, you know where the problem is, you know it's deep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right question, you position it, then it's kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, actually. Because I do often with clients, when I'd work with clients, we'd go through, especially in corporate environments, everybody wants transactional kind of coaching, right? I want this coaching to do this, that, and the other. But my approach to coaching is I'm not really interested in transactions. I'm interested in transformation. Because if you achieve transformation, it will address the transactions. And very often what will happen is I'll take them through my framework for space, creating space within them and their minds. We'll come down, we'll do all that. And then kind of not quite at the end, but close to the end, we'll come back to their list, transactional list. And very often, 90% of that is already addressed without directly addressing any of the individual items. Because we went at a deep enough level for it to really reframe how they're experiencing life as a whole, how they're defining themselves, how they're defining their self-worth, and stuff like that.
So the root self itself is like the foundation.
Yeah. If you get the foundation right, then you can
and that's it.
and everything else. But someone complaining about windows and doors when the foundation has a problem, to me, it's like, okay, I hear what you're saying.
Yes. And I think that's where we run away from in life, dealing with that.
Yeah.
Going
it's almost like you were here before.
Yeah. that's just, and that's the most, it's difficult, but once you can get the whole put into it, the rest becomes that falls, and then you are able to see clearer what's going on, and you can build from there to sort out that deepness in you.
I'm glad you put that on the table, because Phil did allude to that. I think someone else alluded to that earlier as well. That there are those things that feel difficult to us, and we don't want to go there, so we avoid them, and we pander around and whatever, and we spend a lot of time doing those avoidance things. It actually takes more time to avoid than it is to get and do.
Absolutely.
Right? But so going back to our spending time, that's where time is going, because we're spending more time thinking about and running away from and blah blah blah, avoiding and all that, than what it will take to just be in that moment, take one thing and just do it, and in the next moment keep doing and doing, and you look back, as Phil said, and wow, look, we've done that already. Right? So the other thing is worth putting on the table before I move on is that actually what we'll find is, if we find ourselves in a loop, right, i.e., I keep doing this, the reason we keep doing this is because there's a direction that we're going in that we're avoiding the right direction. Right. So the question we ask ourselves, going back to this deeper question, is, okay, what is it costing me to run away from this? What is it costing me not to deal with it? Rather than, do you see what I'm saying? Because you can see the value of avoiding the pain, but actually there's two things. Number one, actually it normally takes less time to just deal with it. Number two, the reason why you avoid and run away from things is because of the belief about what it's going to do to you. Right? Now, when we understand that we're always okay, we will always be okay, and we can handle anything if it's in our lives, right? Because there's nothing in our lives that we won't be able to handle, otherwise it won't be in our lives. So if it's there, we can deal with it. So it's believing that even though it looks like we can't deal with it, even though it looks like it's easier to run away from it, we can deal with it, and we should run to it. And if we need support, then that's why we're all there for each other, right? Then get the support you need. If you need someone just to hold your hand while you're going, then get that. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, get the support you need. Because it will no doubt be over. You will realize that you could handle it, and you'll realize that there were treasures at the other end of what you've been avoiding. Anything else on that before we go to the next one?
The deeper takes me back to when I was working. Deeper questions. I work in a home where people are getting older and getting difficult. We will be wondering, why is she behaving this way? Nobody wants to ask the question. Because something must be wrong before the action will take place. So I used to, because I love people, I love to make people happy. So this particular woman, I sat with her. With the beginning, the root, why she's behaving this way. What happened in your home? Why are you here? Ask, how are your children? Then she started to tell me stories. How they were, ill-treating her. They don't care. They don't do this. All those things talk into her brain. So when she remembers, or when somebody, a family come to visit another, he will see how they are loving that person. Then it will aggravate her and anger, annoyance, and begin to take it off, from throw it to the staff. So while I will sit down, write it down, what is this? And it will spell, to the extent of to the address of the home, let me write to your children, let me do this and do that. And do. This particular action, asking deeper question, change the attitude of this woman. Amen. That is what my brain went to when we are talking of going deeper. If you don't know the foundation of anything, you won't be able to solve the problem.
Yes.
So to the extent that if any difficult clients come in, they will say Eunice can deal with it. Eunice can handle it. So they, without going to no training about that, so they are pushing all difficult clients to me that she will know how to handle it. That's what my brain just went to. When you say deeper, when you don't ask, when you don't find out, you won't know how to deal with the situation. That's what,
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I'm glad your brain went there, because we need to hear that. So because that demonstrates the point. It's not degrees or certificates, it's love, right? That's what that is. And the curiosity. What you'll find is the reason why most people don't go there is that when they see manifested action, they judge it. Now, judgment and curiosity don't coexist. So once you've already judged something, it allows your brain to resolve it and say, well, that's just that person's problem, nothing to do with me, right? So, but when you're curious, that's the language of love. I'm curious. There must be a reason. So in other words, I believe in the human nature of this person to know that they will not be behaving like this unless something is happening. There must be something to it, rather than the judgment that, well, they're just a horrible person, that's why they behave. Right.
But
yeah.
I'm sorry. No, but it seemed, but she took the additional step.
Yeah.
Right. She went down and found out what the problem was.
Yeah.
But she took the additional step of actually working on the solution.
The solution.
Yeah, I like that.
Because a lot of sometimes we go, oh, I know her problem, and people just walk away. She was determined because she's a Christian to go, okay, how can I serve this woman now? And it became a part where you said, Frank, it was love and curiosity that drove her into the deeper questions, and her actual response was an action as well.
Yeah.
Because she was, as you said, she was in that moment. She said, this is what I need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the beauty of it. When you have the intention, then the inspiration will come, which probably, actually, I'm preempting myself here.
Yeah. And I'll tell a story. Something happened to me once in a salon. I was doing my hair, and there was this video that came on, and this young girl was just, she was waywardly dressed, naked, almost naked, and she was dancing, and the people in the salon started blaming her that, oh, she's this, she's this, she's that. And I think sometimes when we find ourselves listening to others, it triggers some things in us too that we've gone through. And I just said to them that, can you please calm down and look at the roots? Where do you really know her? Do you know where she's coming from? What she has gone through that led her to be here today? That we tend to run away. We just look at the action of that person. But what led to that action? Nobody wants to question that. And I was able to sit them down and talk about my story, and they couldn't believe it. And they were like, no, we don't think, no, you are not, no, because they could see me well covered. This, but the inside, they don't really know who is inside. And they were able to start saying good things about the girl, that why you are abusing her or cursing her, that what she's doing, why don't you bless her? Because you don't know her. You don't. And that's why we fail one another, because we tend to criticize ourselves that, to feel good that I'm better than that person. But look, that everybody is telling a story, and you might be happy with that story that person is telling. But what is the root cause of that story? How can we help each other to become a better person instead of condemning one another?
Yeah, no, I hear you. And the other thing people don't recognize is that very often the thing that aggravates you in what you see in other people sometimes is residing in your subconscious.
Yes.
And that's why it's kind of like, always be conscious of yourself, that when you see something that you don't relate to instantly, is your first instinct to judge and push away? Or is your first instinct to acknowledge and be curious, right? Because very often the same tool that you use for judging others is the same tool you use for judging yourself.
Hallelujah.
So again, are you able to hold yourself with compassion? Because when you learn to hold yourself with compassion, you learn to hold other people.
Exactly. Thank you.
And until you're willing to love, you cannot judge someone into changing, because they won't be true change, right? So you have to be able to love somebody into changes.
Yeah.
You have to show them that there's value in them.
Hallelujah.
And then from showing them the value that's in them, when they see the value in themselves, then those external things that we tend to use to judge transform by themselves. But you need to get to the heart of the person first.
Yeah.
You can't do that with judgment.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to go into that, but anyway, that's kind of.
May I, Frank?
Yeah, of course
in
you may.
my planner,
Yeah.
in my planner, I write down quotes every week on the side.
Yeah.
And I'm like you. I've got a big book of quotes, and I found one from a few weeks ago. It says, "What you dislike in another, take care to correct in yourself."
Amen.
I love that.
That's by Thomas Spratt.
Yeah.
And I have a tendency to do that myself as well. I go to the gym all the time, and sometimes you see these people that are really overweight and really obese, and I would go, "Oh my goodness, they're so fat. Oh, they're so well." And then the Holy Spirit hit me one day and goes, "Why do you think they're in the gym?" And I said, "Ah, and that taught me." And another thing that hit me was, you don't know how much weight they've already lost. They may have already lost 50 or 100 pounds, and you don't know it. And as someone else said, I don't know Udoka. She said, I don't know their struggles. And it humbled me to say, you don't know what that individual has been through. So you just focus on what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And that brings me back to what, and I do it all the time when I look at somebody or somebody doing something. It reminds me of Jesus when John said, "Okay, I want you to do this," and the other disciple says, "Well, what are you going to do? Well, what's he going to do?" And Jesus said, "Don't worry about him. You just need to worry about what I told you to do." And I think that I have to constantly remind myself of, you don't have to worry about somebody else's situation. You just have to deal with one you're dealing with by yourself, with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really do hear that. And other thing I help people see in that area is that, again, don't condemn yourself for being that way either. The mind is literally wired to do that. The mind is wired to do that. So just catch your mind doing it. Appreciate it's just your mind doing it, but recognizing you don't have to be that. Right? It's just your mind doing that. So you let it go, you release it. Because it wants to compare, it's how it works out.
Right.
Like it's caught in this relative, like I need to do this relative to that and all that kind of business. But ultimately, there's grace for all of us.
Amen.
There's grace for all of us.
Amen.
Okay, Auntie, were you going to say something? I can see you kind of leaning forward a bit there.
I'm absorbing.
You're absorbing. Okay, all right. All right, let me put this one in. This one is called copulation. Copulation. Here we are on the bed of inspiration. Copulation of emerging ideations, powered by the energy of actualization, giving birth to actions of form, to serve with love this civilization. So I'll read that again, copulation. Here we are on the bed of inspiration.
What's copulation?
We'll get to that.
I don't have my phone here to Google.
Here we are on a bed of inspiration.
I don't have another phone. I'll miss it.
Copulation of emerging ideations, powered by the energy of actualization, giving birth to actions of form, to serve with love this civilization. Copulation is another word for intimate relationship.
Okay. Thank you.
And I used it intentionally. It was not a slip.
Thank you for asking the question.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
And Frank is very intentional about his poem, so
exactly.
He knew that would get everybody's attention.
But I'm just being true to how the inspiration came. So it came in that metaphor. The metaphor is what So the poem is built around the metaphor, effectively. Like if you imagine two bodies coming together and copulating.
Is it possible to repeat it then? The question.
Of course, of course.
Please.
Copulation. Here we are on a bed of inspiration.
It's on the chart.
Okay.
Yeah, she likes to hear it.
Okay.
Here we are on a bed of inspiration. Copulation of emerging ideations.
Yeah.
Powered by the energy of actualization, giving birth to actions of form to serve with love this civilization.
Wow. Wow.
Something that I read today during my devotion, someone else had written it down. It says competitions happen at the bottom. The people at the top are collaborating.
Yeah.
And that alludes particularly, especially to the peace. And as it says, as we work with other people, right? That by doing that, we're benefiting not only ourselves, but we're benefiting everyone involved.
Amen.
And maybe exponentially people we don't even know about.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that. I like that idea of cooperation, collaboration, working together. We in this space are involved in the copulation of emerging ideations. So we are taking one piece and we're all seeing different things from it, and we are bringing our experiences to it. And as a result, all of us are wiser, all of us are better, all of us benefit more. And that allows us to go out there and show up in love to serve civilization. And anything else?
And that's just the power of unity when you have same goals you're going for. So the energy in it, bring the success.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's good. That's good.
I'm also going to throw something else into the mix. And this also describes the process by which creativity becomes physical manifestation. The idea being that if you're going to be a creative person, or if you're going to operate in a creative space, it's the ability to be able to hold an open space where ideas that even seem to be contradictory emerge, and you allow them to interact with each other, and before you know it, something might come out. You go, wow, okay, that's interesting. So the idea, for example, what Auntie said earlier about time having no relatives, that's an interesting metaphor to use for time. There's different things people use, but that person who says time has no relatives, shows no mercy, blah, 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 that is a mixture of an idea and a metaphor to produce a statement that actually someone else is going to hear and go, wow, yeah, now that you mention it, that really is true. And that will change the way they approach time, and will change what they're able to do and what they're able to produce.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because, but going back to that, Frank, because when you say time has no relatives and you see other people doing so much while you're doing so little, then it begs the question, then what are they doing that I'm not? Or what am I doing that they aren't doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really do hear that.
I'm taking time has no relatives with me back to the States.
Yeah, that's a gift. That's a gift for today, for definite. That's a gift for today. Okay. I mean, I don't know where the time goes whenever we do this. It's just flies. I'm gonna go around the room, just finding out what people really taking from today. So Claudette, what's your big takeaway from today?
To be a bit more intentional with my time.
I like that. Phil, what about you?
Enjoy the now more.
Enjoy
the now.
I love that. Andy, what are you taking from today? What's your big takeaway?
I enjoy all this contribution. It sits me right and let me shape my life, my my thinking, my mindset, so that I will know how to group things, take a step, and be happy at the same time.
Amen.
I wouldn't. I'm trying to determine to do what is necessary to be done. Not to let anything. Don't put anything. Everything drop in the basket, and one by one you'll be picking it. Do it before it comes crowded, so that you won't know where to start again. So I learned that one. I wrote that one down. I really get it.
Oh, that's wonderful. And Udoka,
yeah, I'm going with Auntie and you. What Auntie said, that when she was narrating, she and the daughter, and how she now does it, that whatever she wants to do now, she doesn't think about the negative or the positive. Just focus on it and just do it.
Right.
So that's what I'm taking from you also, so it's great when you can just do things and don't look for excuses, because I think I keep on giving myself too much excuses.
Well, the mind likes to make a lot of noise and postulate and do all things. So if you just bypass it and say, well, we know this needs to be done, let me just start doing it.
There's a course I'm going through at workplace, and they've paid this money, and I didn't know the amount they paid. I just thought it's one of these courses for 1,000 or something that I could do it later. And I gave the excuse of my sister dying last year, there's going on, that's going on. But yesterday, when we were in a meeting together and they were trying in a class together, and the lady now said, you can't afford not to finish this course. So the government paid 6 grand. I just said, why do I want to waste someone's money? I wasn't looking at it as that much. So I was thinking, I can do it myself. I just want to take. But that alone makes me, no. I have to finish this course, because I hate to feel that somebody paid that much for me, free. And I didn't take advantage of it to say thank you, because it's by finishing it that I'm able to say thank you properly.
Amen.
So thank you for this session. It's really great that, we have to get our priorities together, no matter the age or, our life experiences that will stop us from achieving so many things. Yeah. Thank you, ma. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad everyone. Yeah, I'm glad everyone enjoyed it, and I'm gonna just continue to look at that whole idea of taking the next step. Just do the next thing that makes sense without the stories of the mind about it. Right. Well, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day,